My wish is that the entire auto industry go electric immediately.
One of the fun things about this car is watching somebody get in and out of it. Here's Nathan trying to get out of the car. Oh my. Look at that.
You don't need Crisco oil or KY.
Oh! Third time's a charm! Look at that!
And also when we took out the, getting ready to replace the trunk lid, we took the back glass out and we broke it.
Hey guys, we had a really great idea for a Thrifty 3 video today. We were going to drive the Thrifty 3, our Tesla Model 3, long range from here to Sterling, which is exactly 150 miles, and then back again to our offices to see if the range of 300 miles is actually achievable. But instead, we got some really bad news from the repair shop. Let me play you that message.
Hey Roman, Terry over at Rickenbach Collision. Sorry, had that all written up the other day and I forgot to send you a copy of it, so my apologies for that. We did find that we needed more parts, and also when we took out the getting ready to replace the trunk lid, we took the back glass out and we broke it. That does happen, you know, about 50% of the time, but anyway, so we have to have the back glass replaced as well. So we've got reflectors and backup lamps, trunk trim, rear body panel, rivets, things like that. And then we've got...
I won't bore you with the rest of the message, but needless to say, the repair is going to cost a lot more than our initial estimate of $6,000 for what is basically a very basic fender bender. So in this video, we're going to go over the timeline of how long we've been now waiting to have the vehicle repaired, and then go over the repair costs so that you guys, if you're thinking of buying a Model 3, will know the pain and the nightmare that you are in for if you ever have an accident with it, because Tommy, this nightmare is just getting worse. So why don't you go over the timeline and let's talk about how long it's been now since basically you had a little bit of a accident with the Model 3.
Yeah, okay, so I had my crunch where I backed it into the garage on April 17th of 2019, which seems like forever ago. But on April 18th, I brought it into Rickenbach where I filmed that video, and we got our estimate. So our first round of parts came in at roughly $6,000, and here's what I was told. I was told they could only order the parts of stuff they saw that was broken. So we knew going into this that if they pulled the bumper off and they found that they needed a lot of the inner structure, that they would have to order more. This is not normally a big deal on any other car because parts come in quick, we were told. But on a Tesla, she said that it could take a long time, and it has taken a very long time. So
could be about a month
Wow.
to 6 weeks or more.
Wow. April 18th is when I went in, got the estimate, and it took over 4 weeks after the estimate for the parts to come in and for us to come in to bring the car to Rickenbach.
I've completed my estimate.
Yep.
Right now, I'm at a 13-day repair. That does not include ordering parts, and I'm at $6,193.73.
So it took forever to get the parts in, and this is just the first round of parts. This was a $6,000 worth of parts, and that was on May 16th is when my dad dropped off the Tesla. So we had the car from April 18th to May 16th. We were driving around in it. It was crunched, but it was still legal because all the turn signals worked. But then we started to run into some big issues. So May 29th, digging into the damage, they found they needed more parts, and this is where it gets super expensive. I'm not going to tell you the final price till the end of the video, but it's pretty much doubled. So today is June 3rd, and the wait continues. We still wait for them to fix their Tesla. We're still waiting for parts, is what I understand.
Now let's talk about kind of how we've been covering Tesla, and we've been covering Tesla now since the beginning. One of the very first vehicles that Tesla actually built was the Tesla Roadster, and Nathan and I actually took that and reviewed it. Gosh, that's almost 10 years ago. So there it is, Tesla. We're going to try to take it cross country. We're going to take it to Estes Park, Colorado, and see how it does both in the canyons and on the long flat straightaways. One of the crazy things about this car is that it's really tiny.
Really tiny.
You've got two guys who are both 6 feet tall trying to get a Tesla, and luckily me and Nathan like each other because you know, this would not be a good car if you did not like each other.
I wore my deodorant today, so I want you to know that. Showered and clean.
Good job, Nathan. So one of the fun things about this car is watching somebody get in and out of it. Here's Nathan trying to get out of the car. Oh my. Look at that.
Got any Crisco oil or KY? My foot's caught under the accelerator.
A word to the viewers, Nathan. Wear size 13 shoes. Please don't destroy the car, Nathan.
No, I'm good.
Oh, that was very graceful. That's good.
Thank you.
Good.
Congratulations to Tesla for creating what I consider the first real proper application battery power in a sports car.
Yeah, and one would hope that this is just the beginning, that in the years to come we'll end up with cars that are this much fun but cost a fraction of $158,000. And of course Tesla is working on that car. It's called the Model S and they hope to sell it for $60,000. So the reason I'm talking about this is because a lot of the comments that we've seen in the videos, especially on the last one, on the e-tron one, is when we had Anton on. So I think it's important at this point, before we go any further, to talk about our coverage of Tesla, kind of our relationship with Tesla, and of course our relationship with auto manufacturers, because one of the core virtues of TFL is we're completely transparent. So like I said, we've been covering Tesla now for 10 years. I actually got to interview Elon when he was here in Boulder opening up the Boulder dealership. His brother actually has a restaurant here, a bunch of restaurants here, and I think that was one of the reasons that Elon decided that he wanted a dealership here. This is the very first time I actually had a chance to talk with him, so let's roll that video right now. Right now you're selling obviously a high-end sports car that's for leading edge, maybe cutting edge people. But where do you hope to have this company in 5 years? You just got a lot of money from the federal government for the S model.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
The goal for Tesla from the beginning has been to create mass market electric cars.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think the reason we created sports cars is because we thought somehow there was a shortage of sports cars for rich people, which is completely untrue. I mean, if you're creating a startup, you can't afford to buy $1 billion factory to create hundreds of thousands of cars. You have to pick something which is low production volume. That necessarily means low cost, or rather low volume, which means high cost, I should say. So the only thing that people are prepared to pay a high cost for in low volume is a sports car, hence the Tesla Roadster. But our generation 2 is the Model S, which is 20,000 units a year, and that's a $50,000 price point. But what a lot of people don't appreciate is that $50,000 price point is actually equivalent to a $35,000 gasoline car when you factor in the cost of gasoline. My wish is that the entire auto industry go electric immediately. The goal of Tesla is, obviously we're making our own cars, but our overarching goal is to serve as a catalyst for the rest of the for the rest of the car industry, and to try to serve as a good example and show that people want to buy electric cars and that the technology is feasible, and to encourage other car companies to move in the direction of electric cars. The best thing is for someone to install solar panels on their house and have an electric car, and it doesn't take much in the way of solar panels to exceed your daily driving. In fact, if you just have a 10-foot by 15-foot solar panel, which you could easily fit on your garage, you will generate about 200 miles per week of electricity.
After that, we've had a series of press people that we've dealt with at Tesla. It seems to be a revolving door there. It's no secret that Tesla does not like journalists, so we've had a hard time actually being able to keep somebody as a press contact. We really don't have a press contact right now. When this first happened, we actually emailed Tesla. We were telling them we're doing the series. We asked for somebody, never heard back from them. So right now we don't have any press contacts over there, and that's a shame because we're really trying to tell a story about what it's like to own and drive a Tesla, from buying it to obviously now crashing it. Now, after we test drove the first Roadster, we have a friend who actually worked at the service center. He lent us one of the first Model S's. And here's 60 right there. Oh yeah! 4.33. I knew I could go faster. Just a tick over 4 seconds, 4.3. That's pretty darn fast. But I have a feeling that this car will get very close to it, if not actually surpassing it. So let's find out and see if an electric Tesla can match a 520 horsepower Audi from 0 to 60 up here at a mile above sea level. times a charge. Look at that. 4.63. It's getting faster. All right, well, it wasn't as fast as the Audi. We're about a half a second off from the very best time we could get out of the Audi. But you know what? It felt just as fast. Way back when the Model X first came out, we actually did an interview with one of the representatives at the Detroit Auto Show, so we were one of the first to cover that. And I'm telling you all this because I want you to kind of understand that we've been following the Tesla story from the very beginning. Now, let's talk about some of the repair costs, and then I'll tell you kind of, where we stand in terms of our relationship with automobile manufacturers.
Right. So, of course, once they started digging into the damage, they found a lot more was broken than we initially thought. So that means the price has gone up a lot. So this is the current parts list, and it's quite a monstrosity. So start with the rear bumper here. So the new rear bumper cover was $365. The new impact bar, the bit that lives behind the rear bumper, $180, and then a left reflector is just $5. So the rear bumper comes to $550. Then we've got the rear lamp. So the left tail lamp assembly was $25, which is pretty reasonable. The charge port door, $170. Backup taillight assembly, $120, and then the quarter panel reflector is $130. So $444 total there. Now the trunk lid, this is one of the more expensive bits that you can see. So the replacement trunk lid, $490, weather stripping, some other bits. So the trunk lid comes to $597 total. Rear body and floor, some additional bits here, that comes to $232. So we're at $1,800 on this page alone.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go. Okay, so this is where it gets really expensive. So when I crunched the rear end, it also buckled the rear quarter panel, and that was $1,000 for the quarter panel alone. Rivets and forms were $131. Panel adhesive $56, inner cover $10. So $1,212 for the quarter panel. The roof.
Why did they take the roof out to replace the rear quarter panel or the trunk lid? That's really weird, huh? Because both roofs obviously are glass, right? And so according to them, they took the rear glass, and what happened?
Yep, so they broke the rear glass upon removal. Now, in that message, they said they had to take the rear glass out, but when they broke the rear glass, I also understand that they broke the front glass. So $425 and $750 respectively.
Why are they taking glass out for a rear bumper?
Well, they said it was something to do with the wiring.
Wow, it's crazy, dude. That's just absolutely crazy. I don't know of any other car where you'd have to take out the sunroof when you crunch the rear bumper.
Yep, well, it's a glass roof. So that comes to $1,200 in glass alone, which is crazy. Rear door, they had to do some sealant, $196, and then electrical, $33. So we're at $4,509 and 1 penny in the parts alone.
And now labor.
So paint and labor.
Yeah.
So paint supplies, $632. Body labor, $1,456. 28 hours at $52 an hour. Paint labor, $967 at $52 an hour. Mechanical labor, $157, and then structural labor, $2,200 at $120 an hour. So the total parts is $4,500. Total labor, $5,400 sales tax, and we're at $10,369, which is a huge ouch. Of course, there's our $500 deductible, so the insurance is going to pay, well, hopefully, $9,864. And we're currently sitting at 47 days. We don't have the car. It's been at the shop. I don't think it's connected to the app anymore, actually, because I can't actually get into our Tesla app. So we're super stuck.
Yeah, and let me play the rest of this message because the news just gets worse, Tommy. It really does just get worse. So let me go back to the message here.
Parts, however, look like they're going to be in on the 19th of June. That is the expected date at this time, and hoping that it stays that date or sooner. So as far as getting it, I can give you a better update once we actually have parts, just because they say they're expected on those days, and then sometimes we don't get all of them. So there you have it.
Let's do a quick refresher here. We brought the Tesla into Rickenbaugh first on April 18th of 2019 for the original estimate and the original list of stuff we needed. And now the second round of parts look like they're coming in on June 19th. So that's 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Almost exactly 2 months.
And then if we're lucky, it'll take them between 2 and 3 weeks to actually do the repairs.
Yeah.
So if we're lucky, at the very best case scenario, we have now been going 3 months without having the car repaired, which is, pretty staggering. And I think there are two important things I need to say at this point. First of all, Rickenbaugh and Terry have been great. There is just a staggering amount of Model 3s that are being built and crunched, and obviously there's no infrastructure to repair them right now, or at least if there is an infrastructure, it's not here in Colorado. So these guys have been working with us. She's been really great to work with. I can't say a bad word about them. And more importantly, guys, in some of the videos that we've posted, you kind of have questioned our integrity. And let me just be very clear about that. First and foremost, we do not own Tesla stock. We have never owned Tesla stock. We are not in the business of owning any company stock. And on the flip side of that, we also don't accept money from any manufacturer in terms of our advertising. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, maybe these guys are bashing on Tesla because Chevy's paying them some advertising. We don't accept that kind of advertising. So we really have no horse in this race except for the fact that we're owners of a Model 3 just like you, and we're super bummed that it's becoming such an expensive, painful, and just long-term process for what seems like a really minor fender bender. And I would say to you guys, if you're seriously thinking about buying a Tesla, keep this experience in mind, because we're very lucky in that we have a whole fleet of cars. So we can keep the car out of the fleet in terms of driving it, and it doesn't affect us. But if, Tommy, this were your primary car, you'd be without a car for 3 months basically, or longer.
What I've read actually is that most insurance companies will give you a rental car, right? But for 30 days. So when 30 days is up, what are you going to do? You're going to have to just pay for that rental car out of pocket, or are you just going to have to be taking the bus? And especially this, this is a brand new Tesla that we bought. We were super excited, 800 miles. Then I screwed up and I backed it into a garage. And yes, it was a bad accident, and I shouldn't have done it. But it's not like it was undrivable, right? It like the Tesla, the turn signals were worse, the light the worst, the trunk went up and down. It was still a drivable car, and we're 47 days in, and now we no longer have the car because it was torn apart to find additional damage. And the fact that the parts are taking this long to come in is truly pretty staggering. Yeah,
and the other thing I would say is the repair cost now at $10,000 is basically 20% of the car.
Yeah.
Right? Car costs $50,000, we're at $10,000, that's 20%. It's certainly a brave new world out there for Tesla owners who get in a car accident and have to have it repaired. Guys, thank you for watching. We'll try to keep doing updates on the Model 3, but right now it's going to at least sit taken apart for the next 2 weeks, and then maybe another 3 weeks until we repair it, or until they repair it. So we're kind of dead in the water. We can't do much, and we don't have a car to review. Thanks for watching. Remember, check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, Tesla Model 3, the nightmare continues reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.